Welcome to the conversation on TOS TV Network. Yes, good morning and welcome to the show. Quite a bright day, what's a beautiful day to bring you another episode of the conversation. And we're reaching you as always from Abuja, that's Nigeria's capital city. And of course, my name is Adeniyi.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
All right, Sagit, good morning.
Good morning, Adisha.
Why are you looking at me like that? What did I do to you?
Nothing, but I suspect you're going to do something very soon.
Are you serious?
I'm just waiting, so it happens.
Wait.
And then I'll just drop it like it's hot.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm glad they can actually, say you.
Yeah, sure. Now, yes, now, no problem. I was expecting, and now that I'm expecting, I know you're dialing it
down.
Do I
ever do anything to you on the show in the morning?
You don't, but after what about
so why
after
are you
the
suspecting
show?
me
Look,
now?
this is why you have problem.
Wow.
Let's not behave as if you don't. They might not see it, but we know you do.
Look, disclaimer. Okay. I don't know what he is talking about.
Don't disclaim anything. It is who you are. You are who you are.
Okay, look, I'm always a motivation, and that's why I'm going to bring you guys, the Wednesday morning motivation with our quote of the day. And afterwards, we're going to be looking at stories, happenings, and development from across Africa. And then maybe we can talk about these things I was talking about much later.
There are certain moments in the day when I need my me time to just unwind and indulge.
What is this?
The Cadbury goodness is in every pack of Cadbury 3-in-1 hot chocolate, making you feel cheerful and pleasant. Enjoy the Cadbury goodness.
All right, let's get into the stories. We'll be starting from Libya. So the chairman of Libya's High National Election Commission, Imad al-Din al-Sayeh, during a press conference, disclosed that the voters' registration date has been extended to 17th August. Al-Sayeh pointed out that the registration for Libyans abroad will begin on 18th August and run until 15th September. The chairman explained that the decision came based on the desire of civil society organizations to provide an opportunity for those who did not register or wish to change their voting center.
Okay, so the first takeaway from this is this particular paragraph. I'll pointed out that registration for Libyans abroad.
Yes, I saw that as well. So it's like every Libyan, wherever you are, in whatever part of the globe you are, you're getting an opportunity to vote, at the elections. And I think that was what I guess was talking about yesterday. Nigerians, and yes, exactly.
Is very, very necessary. It's important, and I don't know why the federal government as well as the National Assembly are not doing as much as they should be doing to ensure that Nigerians abroad get to vote, because it is who they are. They are Nigerians, and it is their right. So they should have a right to exercise their franchise, to vote and be voted for.
And there's also this part where they said opportunity for those who did not register or wish to change their voting center.
Yes.
Because I know that I've spoken to quite a number of Nigerians, and I'm like, why haven't you voted, or why haven't you been voted? And be like, I have to, where I registered. I have to go all the way back to where I registered, and I can't do that.
That's the problem. They made it such a complicated process to register, to get your permanent voter's card and all of that. I feel, the federal government should ensure that, I don't think it should be a challenge.
Or a stringent, process.
Exactly. This could be made online. People register for their passports, international passports online. So why should it be that difficult to register for your permanent voter's card online and just wait until it gets to your local government and you go and pick it up?
Well, I think that's why we're clamoring for electoral reforms and all of those electoral acts.
Well,
and all of that
I hope it happens as soon as possible. So, the election, there will be sanity in the Nigerian electoral space.
Yes.
Okay, so moving forward, back to Nigeria here, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has met with his lawyer, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, from his detention under the custody of the Department of State Services (DSS) for the first time since his last arraignment in court. Ejiofor, who is Kunnu's lead counsel, revealed this in a statement on Monday, saying the IPOB leader sent a message to the members of his proscribed group expressing gratitude to all those who are fighting for his release.
All right, moving away from that, still in Nigeria actually, President Muhammadu Buhari has sent congratulatory messages to the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, as he turns 60 tomorrow, August 4, 2021. This was contained in a State House press release signed by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, on Tuesday.
We wish the CBN governor a happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Oh, it's actually today actually. Yes.
Okay, so what I want to say is happy birthday, CBN governor. However, dollar to naira is 522. I think as at yesterday it was close to 540. So happy birthday to you, sir. Epos. Let it calm down.
What a message. Okay, with that, we bring you COVID-19 updates from across Africa. And as I always say, before we bring you the updates, please do your part to ensure that you and the next person is, safe. Because just yesterday, the federal government of Nigeria officially announced that Nigeria has officially entered the third wave of the COVID-19, virus pandemic in the country. Lagos is experiencing the brunt of it. 42 deaths in 1 week. We don't want to have to keep having casualties. So please do your part. Vaccinations are already in the country. Get vaccinated if you haven't yet gotten vaccination. And then if, the process is taking too long, just, protect yourself and protect the next person. Okay, so COVID-19 updates from across Africa. And afterwards, we'll be looking at front pages of Nigerian newspapers this morning.
TOS TV Network mobile app is now available. You can now catch up on our breaking news, stream our programs live, watch out for the latest update on sports and politics as they unfold. You can also get notifications for our upcoming programs and events. All these on our TOS TV Network mobile app, available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. TOS TV News from Africa by Africans.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach. Try Panadol Caplets for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Caplets. This has been Medifact for Panadol.
You're still watching The Conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. And you could be a part of the conversation by connecting with us on our various social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram using the details currently shown on your screen. It is the newspaper segment of The Conversation, and this morning we start with the Punch newspaper. From the very top, we see November will test Apapa truck call-up success. That's by truckers that we found on page 19. And underneath that story, we see Kyari appears before panel, mounts defense against hush puppies allegation. Beside that, we see U.S. vaccine lifeline. FG states workout sharing formula. Lagos gets priority. Beside that as well, we see FG directs NSIA to source Mambila $200 million judgment debt for Chinese firm. For the banner headline on the Punch newspaper this morning, we see APC plans Buni Oyetola Bello's removal from caretaker team, eyes interim exco. A couple of riders underneath, we see party fears future implications of Supreme Court judgment on UB governor. APC member ask court to annul Congress, sack Buni-led committee. No going back on Congresses, no apex court judgment bars us, and that's by the secretary. Quite a number of other headlines on the Punch newspaper this morning. Simply grab a copy to keep updated.
And on the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper, the very first headline there says, NAS opposition to e-transmission of poll results, coup against Nigerians. That's from Wike. Why governors can't perform. That's from the NGF. The banner headline on the Daily Sun newspaper says, APC-PDP crisis worsened. Ruling party may dissolve Buni's committee. Governors more cancellation of ward congresses. 7 opposition party deputy national officers quit in protest, demand immediate resignation of secondus. Another quite obvious headline underneath the picture of the day says, gunmen kill pregnant woman, 13 others destroy farmlands, houses in Kaduna, Enugu, joint operations key to ending terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and others. That's coming from Quas. Underneath that, Fayemi sends bill on judiciary funds management, creation of LCDA to assembly. There are quite a number of other headlines on the Daily Sun newspaper. Grab yourself a copy.
Yes, for the Vanguard newspaper this morning, we see Abba Kyari, AGF office, yes to receive official communication, says Malami's aide. Underneath that, we see UAE lift ban on flights from Nigeria, 5 others. Besides that, we see CBN issues guidelines for payment of service holdcos. Underneath that, for on the banner headline there on the Vanguard newspaper, we see 2023 fresh troubles in PDP as crisis fester in APC. Quite a couple of riders as well. 6 PDP national officers resign. APC wooing them. Secondus must go, PDP youth leader. PDP governors sue for peace, schedule emergency meeting. APC crisis worsen in Rivers, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, Osun, and Ondo. Rivers faction secures order against congresses. Chieftain explains court order stopping Bayelsa congresses. Akwa Ibom APC suspends 17 local government caretaker chairmen, 2 others. Chieftains pass no confidence votes on National Caretaker Secretary Akpan Uduedehe. Osun APC group accuses faction of buying up phones. On the picture of the day there, we see Brume Oburududu win bronze, silver. Besides that, we see Parkland suffer as doctors strike. Patients suffer as doctor strike takes toll on hospital services. Underneath that as well, we see with Obasanjo Shibajo years as president, VP. Southwest lacks moral rights for 2023 presidency, and that's by Ohaneze Ndigbo. A couple of other headlines on the Vanguard newspaper. You could simply grab a copy to keep updated.
All right, looking at the front page of the Nation newspaper, the very first headline says, member asks court to sack Buni-led caretaker. APC rejects parallel Congress list. Besides that, my ordeal in Undo, kidnappers dead, pupil leaves experience. Police confirm 17 dead, 85 houses razed in Plateau. Clash, MTN's universal service request delays license renewal. Those are on page 6 and page 7 of the Nation newspaper. Ekiti Assembly gets bill for creation of 19 LCDA, 6 killed in Kaduna attack. How we get Forex by BDCs. CBN supply ban won't affect us. That's continued on page 4. And then the banner headline on the Nation newspaper this morning. Bids to force out secondus. NWC splits PDP governors. Party exco tells 7 officers who resigned to go immediately. Youth leader, others knock chairman. And besides that, UAE lifts suspension on flights from Nigeria. That's it for the Nation newspaper this morning.
Yes, for the final paper we'll be looking at on the newspaper segment, we go to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. From the very top, we see UAE lifts ban on transit flights from Nigeria to others. That will be found on page 8. Beside that, we see National Assembly's opposition to e-transmission of election results tantamount to coup, and that's by Governor Wike. It can be found on page 4 of the Tribune newspaper. Beside that, we see 43 core members test positive for COVID-19 in Edo, Niger, Sokoto. That we found on page 5. Underneath the paper name, we see FIRS awarded 5.2 billion naira non-security souvenir contracts in 7 months. Besides that, we see IPOB asked U.S. courts to block delivery of more Tucano aircraft to Nigeria. Besides that as well, we see more knocks for Jega for rubbishing PDP APC. For the banner headline on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, PDP governors weighed in as 7 NEC members resign. A couple of riders, National Youth Leader demands Secondo's resignation. Saraki Ayim Imoke, Dankwambo meets aggrieved Oyo factions. Underneath that story, we see scores of Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists killed as Nigerian Air Force jets ground camp in Borno. Pastor shot dead during service as court members killed 6 in Lagos in 1 week. 7 fared killed as Hausa Yoruba Okada riders clash in Ogun community. Underneath the picture of the day there, we see APC crisis, court asked to nullify ward congresses, dissolve Buni-led committee. SWC suspends 17 chapter chairman in Akwa Ibom State, and that could be found on page 4. And that would be it for the newspaper segment of the conversation this morning. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we will be bringing you the big story.
You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make it calm down. Eat a farm, say it's happy. You want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you, know you pass your power. You want to show yourself, oh.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone.
My son has always dreamt of being in the spotlight.
As his mother, it is my duty to help him live up to his dream.
That's why I give him Born Vita every day,
Which contains iron, zinc, and vitamin C that supports his immunity and gives him the strength to pursue his dreams. Born Vita, strength to dream.
You're still watching the conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television, and like I always say, you could be part of the conversation by connecting with us on our various social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at TOS TV Network. You could also watch the conversation on our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. You could also watch some of our other content via our YouTube page at TOS TV Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It is the big story segment of the conversation, and this morning's focus is going to be on Abba Kyari views on extradition. Joining us via telephone to discuss this, among other issues, is Mr. Adeniyi Kunnu, and he is a social affairs commentator. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, and thank you for inviting me. I'm grateful.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, what do you make of all the happening surrounding the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari's alleged involvement with the suspected fraudster, popularly known as Hush Puppy?
In the first place, it took 48 hours to have Abba Kyari suspended so that investigations can continue.
Yes.
But one thing that remains very instructive is that this case will actually define us, and that is a fact of the matter. Let me go back to 1987, particularly of December, when a certain Osaze Iyamu was nabbed as being the one who was supplying ammunition to the notorious armed robber Adeniyi back then. At the end of it, we found out that he and 6 others were found guilty, and he faced the firing squad. Let me go to Danjuma of the Apo 6 killing of about 2005 that got promoted even after it was fingered. of having spearheaded those who killed innocent people in Apo. So I want to say that the police has a history of certain things that it gets involved in, but this particular one has an international flavor, and that is where the issue is. So for me, the suspension is in place for investigation to take place, and I tell you, it's going to be difficult. We're talking about 69 pages, and listen very carefully. Abba Kyari's name was mentioned a total of 221 times in that document. That could not be a joke, and that's a fact of the matter. So what I'm saying in essence is the best thing that will be good for the Nigeria police is to accept the findings, which of course have overwhelming evidence against Abba Kyari. Now, for people to actually do an investigation that a particular person has pleaded guilty to, for thorough investigation to have been done, 69-page document, I think the Nigeria police have never themselves done such thorough job. And it is good at times to be humble enough to accept the things that you cannot even handle in the first place. So I think that it's an eye-opener for everybody. And I believe one thing very strongly, which is that this is a defining moment in our nation's investigation, or actually crime-fighting approach. So that's it for me. It's a way to go, but the Nigerian police must ensure that the name of the country is not soiled further by ensuring that Abba Kyari has his day in Florida so that he can answer to the allegations. It's very quick. And what I advise the Nigerian police to do is just to get him not a return ticket, a one-way ticket, because it looks likely that he won't be coming back anytime soon. I'm very sorry to say this.
Oh, okay, so I want to ask, of course, it's still a developing story. However, how would you rate the Nigerian police, not just the Nigerian police, the Nigerian government as well? How would you rate their response, to this allegation from the beginning till now?
I think the first thing is it is usual for any country to defend its own. So what the Nigerian government is doing is proper. I don't want to use the word super cop, but I'll use it. When somebody is a celebrated police officer in a country, the first thing you want to do is to protect him so that it doesn't seem as if they are bashing his head against the wall. But another thing that is very instructive in this matter is the United States police itself wouldn't allow our police officers to be tried in any part of the country or any of our law officers. So Nigeria as a sovereign country has the responsibility to protect our own first. But with this level of evidence, I think that Nigeria has to stay humble and allow justice take its course. Particularly, don't forget that when they took Hush Puppy from Dubai, the Dubai police did not even argue or even give any extradition paperwork. They just allowed them take him because it's an international crime. And we know that the FBI actually has that international recognition when it comes to cases that people in their countries cannot even crack. So I think that it is very important, particularly a situation where certain subpoena has been done and conversations between Kyari and Hush Puppy is in public domain right now. So I think that it is very important for us to know that while Nigeria has not committed a crime in wanting to defend our own, Nigeria must also understand that there are lots of things it must allow to take place, or else it's going to strain our relationship with the U.S. And I tell you, this will prove to many others that there are 1,001 others who perhaps we don't know the things they do underneath, but they continue to do it. So that is just my position again on that matter.
Okay, so now, sir, about 1,001 others, because I was even going to ask. Now, Abba Kyari is just one of many persons who has sometime in the past, had something, one thing or the other to do with the estranged Hush Puppy. So the question I'm going to ask, because we've seen time and time again, both persons in governments, politicians, people who are acclaimed celebrities here in Nigeria having something to do with Hush Puppy. So should we expect the same fate to be meted on them?
Should we expect same what?
Same fate as Abba Kyari.
No, in the first place, let us understand this. Every police officer is like every other person who lives and has a job and does something for livelihood. So we cannot completely take away the right of police officers to relate with fellow civilians because they live in a society. So we can't take that right away from them. But I think that what we must do is that law officers must learn to maintain low profile. Law officers must learn to keep low profile because that is very fundamental. A situation where somebody is a police officer and you are attending different parties or doing different kind of things, I don't think that is the kind of thing that should happen. Anybody who is an officer of the law must understand that there are limitations to how you want to do your social life, even if you have a right to relate with anybody you want to relate with. More or less like having a judge at every party. That is disastrous. So I think it is very important for us to understand this clear-cut issue. As a police officer, your right to relate with anybody cannot be taken away from you. But one other thing that we must not take away from this conversation, there has to be limits to such social connections because of the nature of the job that somebody does. More or less like somebody who is a medical doctor who always sleeps at a restaurant or sleeps at a bar. There are certain things you don't find with people who do certain jobs. So that is very key for me here.
Okay.
So a final one. The whole debacle about Abba Kyari and Hush Puppy is indeed really denting the image of Nigerians abroad. So the question is, how do we begin to start cleansing all of this?
I think there's a lot of repair work we have to do at home here.
Yes.
We need a lot of repair work to do. Don't forget there are 1,001 things happening in the country that we must fix. This country has a lot of chip on our shoulders. So the first thing is, for instance, let's look at the president. Even if the president has the money to go to the UK, the medical doctors are on strike. The president of the country is attending to his health in the UK. You know, people like them, when people see that kind of things, they just feel that there's no hope for this country. They want to do their own things and get into all sorts of crime. So there's a lot on the leadership of the country to do that by example, to be sincere in the things it does, and to create that impression that its interest is for everybody and not for a segment of the country. If the government is able to do that, more than half of this problem will be solved. I can tell you that for free. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the conversation this morning.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm grateful for the privilege. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And thank you to our viewers for sticking with us on the show up until this time. We'll come to the end of the conversation today, but we will be back here tomorrow, and that's why you should follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. That's TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course subscribe on YouTube so you do not miss out on anything. You can also stream the conversation and other programs on www.tostvnetwork.com. My name is Adeniyi Waosuyi.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow and stay safe.